Resident Evil 2. A game I am quite familiar with and have beat over 30 times. However, as you see, we have perfect S's across the board, yet we do not have that illustrious and sensational perfect S+. So that's what we're doing today. As yet again, Leon Kennedy will be traversing the horrors of the Raccoon City Police Station, sewers, and lab to get that S+ ranking. And just so that we're all on the same page here, this means 3 saves or less, and no bonus items completed in under, I think it's about 3 hours, 2.5 hours. We're doing second run on standard, because I didn't really want to do 3 saves on hardcore off the bat. That seemed a little bit not my style, I guess. I like to work up to my goals. Either way, after getting whatever we just got, I was too busy yapping. We are gonna then head down into this little room. Now, before we go any further, this is technically, I'd say, a soft speedrun. Please don't take this into account whenever you're doing any of your Resident Evil runs. This is not by any means a guide. It is a miracle I didn't die at all on this playthrough, and it is more of a gives a semblance of a drunkard stumbling through the village and somehow getting from point A to point B unscathed and unvomited on. Anyways, after checking to make sure that our elbows are intact for some reason, we are off. Now the second run it's really a letdown, honestly, from what came beforehand. The only thing that, oh my gosh, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, the only thing that's really different from second run and first run is where you start some of the items, and especially the first RPD section, are different, and there are a little bit more enemies everywhere. I forgot the last part, but don't worry, we can laugh about it together. So, whereas we usually start in the main hall, we now start with the bolt cutters, which is a very nice item, and in general, I feel second run is actually easier to speedrun because you can get more weapons without having to do half as much work. They're just set up in the correct way. Now, obviously, the first step of this being a soft speedrun is that I am kind of just going through the game at a mildly steady pace. I know what I'm doing, basically, most of the time. So, might as well pick up the, Desert Eagle on the way there, which I think I use for one boss fight where I don't even need to damage the person to death. Either way. We are jump scared by a zombie barrel rolling through a window, because what else are you going to do on, I think it's a Saturday night? Leon's canonically has a hangover through this entire thing, so I guess the drunkard analogy earlier wasn't terribly off. Either way, going through this door is on our objective, but first you have to grab this crank, which again, optimally positioned. We'd usually have to go back for this, but not in this case, no. We get to just grab it, like, within the first couple of minutes. Now, one thing the second run does to sort of make things, appear easier, like, to piece together in the timeline, but again, if you, look through it for about 5 seconds, it doesn't make sense, is you're given a, I think it's like a 1911, pistol, which has, higher caliber bullets, so it's not like, oh, well, in my first run as Claire, I picked up all the gun ammo, so there isn't any left. Well, they sort of get around that way, I guess. I don't know, I think it's kind of unnecessary because they didn't really care enough about anything else. But really what it just means is that crafting ammo will just work only on your other gun, and the Matilda's kind of useless if you aren't just spending all of your handgun ammo and, actually collecting handgun ammo, which this game can totally be beaten without doing any ammunition crafting, especially for the handgun. Either way, coming into the main hall, it is now full of zombies. And that's just how powerful, you really don't think about it, but the higher caliber really does make a difference. Besides this weapon's ridiculously fast firing speed for a handgun, it is really quite... I prefer it over the Matilda. Of course, the only problem is it's ludicrously small magazine size, but, you know, or clip. I don't know the difference between the two. But either way, after some British simulator on the zombies in the main hallway, who are all doing their best impression of alligators, I think. I don't know, I didn't stop to ask them. I was too busy slicing and dicing away. We then get to go down our first hallway. Now, for some context, in the original, this is where you first interact with the Lickers, and in the remake they bait you on this, but then, in fact, it is later, next to the STARS office. Except in the second run. I forgot about this, so I was just minding my own business, full sending it, and then this happens. So, I don't know, but it's fine. We can get through the rest of the... This is the death hallway, by the way. It's nothing bad's gonna happen. I'll be... Well, I mean, foreshadowing, hindsight 2020, whatever, I don't know. I was slightly disappointed in myself at this point, but it's okay, because again, we have the bolt cutters, so we can skip the shards of glass window and just go right through here, grab this detonator, which will be very useful. And, there's just an average American. They're not a zombie, although I might have treated them as such. They just want vending machine food. They're the one survivor. Well, were one survivor. This is very important. This is the weapons locker, where you get not weapons and ammunition for your not weapon that was in a random room, not even inside the police station. Resident Evil logic sure is something, folks. Also, isn't it coincidental that every single zombie thing happens in a place built by the same person? Like, it's the exact same architect that did the Spencer Mansion, the RPD, and the mansion in Resident Evil 4. After knifing another person and preventing any more front flippers from entering the windows, we do some photography simulator, which doesn't help us in our quest to escape the police station that we drove into. We plumb the pipes. Honestly, this game doesn't make much sense when you actually think about it, so just bear with me through some inventory management and lots of backtracking, which again, for all of my bragging about how the second run is so much easier because you don't have to backtrack. There's a lot of backtracking. Also, there's the STARS office. There's lots of cool items in there, and I didn't really want to skip over it, so we just get to go fast-paced. And then, this is where we get Tyrant, but actually, it's not important, because we don't see him until later, because Leon doesn't have peripheral vision or ears. And we walk the other way than that he did. Oh. We forgot the key. Well... it's time to trek all the way back upstairs to the 3rd floor where we forgot the key. Remember how I was talking about no backtracking? Well, yeah, there should be no backtracking. That's Tyrant, by the way. Time for an epic chase montage. Okay, I think we lost him. That's an issue that's dealt with now. Okay, so through here is where we get to open that door with the key that we finally grabbed. Congratulations. We need to get the weapons locker keycard thing for this. And let's go over and get the statue for the Deagle. Oh. Well, we forgot the book, which is in the library, which we just went through. Time for some more backtracking, folks. Oh, also there's Tyrant outside, which is why I'm stopping, I think. I don't know, I could just be schizophrenic at this point, honestly. Schizolean would kind of... I wouldn't say we'd go hard, but it'd be kind of funny. Anyways, let's backtrack, because that's everyone's favorite thing to do. And what is this, a Metroidvania? Actually, okay, we're not going that way. There's zombies. Time to backtrack. Yay. No. Less yay. Also, Tyron is right behind us right now. I don't know if the audio is going to be great, but Tyron is hot on our heels, so while we're up here, we might as well blow some stuff up. I mean, it is America after all. And, you know, might as well detonate some C4 if we're given it. And thankfully, I did not forget this time. I might have been in this room before. Here's a fun little neat trick. If you go outside this door and then come right back in, then the bookshelf doesn't fall, and that blast doesn't stun you. As long as you're not standing too close, then I think it's instant death, but that hasn't really been a problem for me. Either way, this activates a licker in this room, which is fine because we can just avoid it. That zombie, on the other hand, we might want to take the long way around. But in and out, easy does it. That also, explosion, probably got Tyrant over here, so we're gonna hightail it out of there. But grabbing the second medallion, oh, by the way, there's a bunch of medallions. If I didn't mention that before, we gotta grab a couple medallions, and also grab the book, which we can use to combine with that. Anyways, onto the medallion. Medallion gotten. Let's see about that weapons keycard locker code thing. Another one. I should probably save my ammo at this point. Well, there's one down there. Well, let's get these guys in here, and then, you know what? Yeah, let's go up there and get this. And that's a couple rooms. Okay, maybe not. You know, there's the other way around. There's the other way around. We can do the other way around. It's fine. It's not going to be... I mean, there's not really anything over there. Let's grab this while we're at it. Oh, yeah, he's still behind us. Okay, that's great. Well, you know, let's go down here first. Might as well. It's right there. Hi, Tyrant. Bye, Tyrant. It's at this point that we make our first save, because I'm so confident in my ability to exist that, you know, saving is for nerds, and also people who want to get S+ speedruns. No, wait. Saving is for nerds. Not saving is for people who want to get S+, quote-unquote, speedruns. This video is still 44 minutes, 58 seconds, and 21 point... and then 21... 40... It's a long video. So, that's with all the speed scaling I did. Which is going to make this thing take forever to update. Anyways. Now let's get the thingy-mabob that we were trying to get earlier. Yay. Yippee. Personally, I don't need to get the Deagle before the Birkin one fight. Oh, there's the liquor I was talking about. We're gonna actually, you know, not get hit by this one. Okay, maybe not that way. Well, really doesn't seem to be another... There is always juking. Okay, it's the old bait and switch. 2 dashes and ankles broken. Amazing. Perfecto. As long as Mr. X doesn't come through that door right now, which he didn't, we're able to set some positioning up for the library. Now, I know you don't actually need to push that one, but I do anyway, because I didn't know that you didn't need to, and you could just push the other ones over a bit. There's prayer for some less impressive ankle breaking, as we're now up here for some reason. And back into the STARS office, this time at normal speed, so that we can get the Desert Eagle, which we don't need again for the Birkin 1 boss fight, but I just want to get it out of the way currently, because it would make the routing when we're in RPD 2 just much more difficult. Let's also take care of that shotgun, which is now taken care of. So we can finally go on to the first boss fight of the game. Almost, well, it's actually a quarter of the way into the video. We're actually on track, which is crazy. We've only spent half an hour here, which is insane. Now, usually I do like to exit RPD 1 with half an hour, RPD 2 with half an hour in total, sorry. But, you know, because we're kind of going out of our way to get weapons that will help us later on, it's fine. Anyways, I wonder what that was. After pulling up this thing and going through the same animation yet again, we get introduced to Birkin 1, or, you know, what happens to a Gen Alpha without their iPad for like 5 minutes. I'm not apologizing if anyone watching is Gen Alpha. Don't watch my videos. I guess. I don't know. Anyways, after wasting literally every single shotgun shell we had, which is fine, we weren't really using it for anything else at this point in the run. They really only come handy in the sewer. And Birkin landing one clean hit on me, which I use my chemical government spray, and it's fine for some reason. Even though Leon is still obviously marred. Oh, and we also got our head crushed, but that's fine because we had a grenade. And shotgun shells. Let's hear it for speed ramping. And we're able to one-tap him with 1911 Superstar handgun, I guess. I don't know. Maybe all that glazing earlier. Oh shoot, my monitor just turned off. Okay, we're fine. Okay, 16 minutes of idle activity turns my mod. That's good to know. That means that that'll happen again before I finish recording this video. It's 11:17 at night, by the way. Either way, we get to meet our figment of our imagination. I told you Schizo Leon was real. Ada Wong, who in fact does not exist and is just a figment of our imagination. Either that or she just turned into this zombie, but I'll chance it. Now we're in the prison, which is where there are some zombies locked up. Unfortunately, the police do not in fact do their job and lock up all of the bad people. And in fact, they got one good person too, who just got his head crushed, but that was, was an off-screen death because it didn't seem too important to the plot. Because we already know who Tyrant is. Anyways, we got this very useful hand crank, which we just used, and we get to go into this room, which is fine until it's not. If you don't know what that means, which this video is probably very weird if someone who hasn't played Resident Evil 2 watches this video, but, you know, whatever. Think of it as a fun experience. Either way, this room is very fun. I mean, it's not very fun, it's just a room. It's a room. Anyways, with Leon's pure essence, we've solved the puzzle without even touching it. And now this room turns into not fun. There are two parts of this game I don't like. The first part is the dogs. Their obnoxious RNG is frustrating to deal with, to say the least. And for the very few sections of the game that they're in, I really don't like those sections. So, you know, we're just gonna kind of glide through this and not really talk about it, because why would I talk about something I don't like? Okay, but that time, I mean, go back, pause the video. That dog was going to go way over my shoulder. The hitboxes are janky. I also get misdirected here, which means that that was an honest hit, honestly, but the other one wasn't. Thank goodness we are through that hellhole now, and we're back in the RPD. I mean, we're technically in a little shed because zombies, but, you know, we're back in the RPD, which starts RPD 2. I think actually on speedrunning terms RPD 2 started after we beat Birkin, but you know, whatever. Fortunately, it is a lot faster, and I actually, you know, optimized my route in RPD 2. After being a good Samaritan and putting out a fire, Leon gets rewarded. I wonder what down this. Oh, it's you again. Okay, well, time to employ the ankle breaker technique. Any day now. Am I doing grenades? That's not gonna work. Hey, doofus, I'm over here. Okay, so maybe that wasn't quite ankle breaker, but you know, I dodged him. I went around him. He still has the Resident Evil 2 original turning speeds employed in his movement set. Oh yeah, now we're down the death hallway again, and it actually goes surprisingly well. There are lickers on the ceiling, but we move slow enough that they don't get to us, and there aren't any zombie placements that are pretty bad. So we're just able to waltz into this room and get what we're looking for. Unfortunately, we have a problem. There's a grenade in this room, and grenades are very useful in the game, and you only get like 6. There's also a key item in this room, and we need the key item. We're able to combine the grenade with another grenade, so that's fine. But we don't have any room for the key item, which is a miscalculation on my part. So after missing 3 shots, somewhat on purpose, we grab our key item. And then, well, that's unfortunate. I hear X outside, or Tyrant, same guy. And there's a zombie inside, and there's another zombie bursting through the door. I hit the flash, which doesn't stop me from getting injured, but Mr. X is fighting the Shadow Demon, so it's fine. We're able to sneak past. I don't know how that happened. That was extremely lucky. Usually that hallway is much worse. And now it's basically smooth sailing from here. Just take the long way around that guy because I don't need to deal with him. And then use a little lift crank jack thingy and push the bookshelves twice, or no, just once, sorry. That was a miscalculation on my part. To be able to climb the ladder and escape to freedom of the 3rd floor. Which is, we've been here before, but like, only a little bit, honestly. So, we're now in the main hall, which is surprisingly dark upstairs. And there's another zombie, like, right around this corner. Fortunately, we're able to get into this room before they grab us, but this will be an issue coming back. Now pick up the cogs that I grabbed earlier, very conveniently, and get the thingy we need. And there's X, and there's a zombie, and I'm kind of hoping that the Mr. X will punch the zombie out of the way, but he doesn't, so we have to use another one of our government-mandated chemical sprays to be able to get past. And we have another one, but it should be fine. And it is, because zombies like to walk in ways that are not advantageous to them some of the time, and other times they're just kind of jerks about it. See, case in here. Usually I can just waltz right through, but of course there had to be a zombie here for some reason, so we have to blast them. And they kind of just fold in half, which is insane, and I never really go for gut shots, so I don't see that happen very much. I'm very surprised and impressed by the game whenever it does. Either way, on the whole home safe free theme, we're basically able to just waltz on downstairs from here. There really isn't anything stopping us at this point, besides a hallway with a couple zombies where you can usually get through them okay. And we have our shotgun just in case, although we're trying to save that for the sewer section. Mostly because there are lots of zombies in there that I just kind of want to permanently take care of. And also we're out of handgun ammo, but don't tell Leon, he doesn't know yet. Not getting amazing RNG. We do get a little nibble from this one without a nose, so he can't smell our fear, but he could probably taste it. What else can I say? What else can I say? That is an extremely... Oh my gosh! It is an extremely base handgun. And also that puzzle happens, but, you know, we're kind of glazing the 1911 right now, so let's keep on with that. Extremely base handgun, very, very epic and very cool. We get our little parking pass, and... oh, parking permit, sorry. And now we get to go through... I wouldn't say it's one of my least favorite sections of the game, because it's like one hallway. But come on. Come on. He made me waste a grenade that I didn't want to use. Also, I juked out X, but he still got me because unfair cooldowns or whatever. It's the game's fault. I'm not bad. It's the game. It's the game. It's the game. But after that, we're basically fine. Also, the other zombie that I, like, one-tapped, I'm not really upset about it because I one-tapped him, but, like, no, it's him again. It's fine. It's fine. We're up on the surface. We're okay. Anyway, some things don't happen, actually. Everything's fine. No traumatic loss of life was encountered. So, now our imaginary girlfriend tells us that, apparently there's some sort of, pharmaceutical corporation called Umbrella, which is actually evil, which is insane because mega corporations can't be evil. They have so much money, so they have to be good. You know, like, we have so many great representations of that in the community right now in terms of, like, you know, really, really big multi-billionaires who are just the best people ever and not at all disgusting, not great individuals. Anyways, there are giant alligators in the sewers apparently, so, well, there were giant alligators in the sewer. Well, there might be more. Now there's an elevator ride, with our imaginary girlfriend, and yeah, that happens. Yapping more about Umbrella being evil for some reason, which again doesn't make sense because they're a mega corporation, so why would they be anything but good, obviously. So reason she's imaginary. After passing out for some unknown reason, we were searching for our imaginary girlfriend who's probably just ceased to exist because we're losing brain cells as we go about this game. Not because the game's bad, just because getting bitten probably doesn't do anything good for your mental health. And here's the second part of the game I don't like. Any tunnel or room with those things in it. Because they have obnoxious hitboxes and are way too tanky to reasonably and feasibly take out, especially if you're trying to go through the run a little fast. Hey, there's a little handle asset. That probably won't come in handy again. You know, either way, the G things are horrible. And these zombies are the ones I was talking about when I said to just exterminate them, because I go through this section like 3 different times, so it's just, I don't need to get bit. Oh, what's that? What's that over there? Oh, it's the little handle asset. Again. I'm sure it's fine. It's not like there aren't other handle assets in the game. Oh, gunpowder. Fortunately, this one we can just kind of avoid, at least the first time. Unless it stun locks you like you just did, in which case you can't avoid it, so we're just skipping over that and going to this little crank handle that I forgot that I picked up somewhere. Oh, it was down by the cable car that wasn't shown. That's fine. Cable car by Umbrella. Coincidence, I know, right? Either way, we're supposed to get these like little knight chess pieces things. Oh, there's that elevator from earlier. Well, not same one, but it looks very similar. You know, you ever see a problem and you can just kind of stop it in its tracks? Well, I just did. Anyways, 1 out of 3 chess pieces down. We get to go back down this elevator asset. Ooh, Discord. This elevator asset again. There's Discord again. I don't know what Discord's on about. I'm sorry, this is a very unprofessional way of making a video audio, but I just don't really care. Anyways, so after more G, we get to go to my least favorite section of the entire game, which is just more G. Lots of G. In fact, it's almost nothing but G. We're second run, so there is one functioning zombie, but besides it's just G. And again, what I said about earlier, I don't really like to talk about things that I don't like to talk about. So we're just got a flamethrower, got a couple keys, and now we're out. And it's fine. And nothing really important happened there except that we got flamethrower and a couple of night key plug socket things. So let's do that puzzle. Oh look, it finally worked. After, you know, opening up that... Why... What is so important beyond that door that they had to do that obnoxious lock? I would really love to know. It would be very interesting if there's, like, you know, actual lore behind everything. After touching another one of those weird puzzles... Oh, look, that's another little handle thing again. We, get confronted by potentially the owner of this fine sewer establishment, William Birkin again, who now looks even worse. Or better, depending on if you thought that original William Birkin looks better than, like, G Stage 3 or whatever. I digress. Either way, we are confronted by the fine owner of this establishment for going around and messing with our keys and kind of, killing all of our undead workers who are already there. And to that, we just kind of try to kill him, I guess. Which, like, was this boss fight really necessary? I'm just kidding, of course it was. I don't know where I was going with that bit. Comment awkward silence if you're still here. Anyways, this is a unique boss fight because there's a way to get one-shotted, but it isn't actually by the boss. See, to kill this thing, you have to smash it with a crane a couple times. And to smash it with a crane a couple times, you have to make the crane sweep over most of the stage, which should have it on it and not you, because if it has you on it, you will die immediately. Whereas G takes like 2 hits to go. So we're being a little bit dangerous here by going in the danger zone, if you will. But we are actually barely fine and survive that. And now obviously we have to hit it a second time. If you do enough damage to it, you can just get it once, but I don't have the methods or the knowledge of how to do that, so we're just gonna hit it a couple times. Now, this bit's a bit anxiety-inducing because if you're like all the way over on the stage like I am, and it takes a while to swing because it's a big heavy shipping container full of who knows what, then it will get up, but fortunately we're fine and get to walk across this conveniently rubble bridge and go through this door that is locked by the same asset again, and now escort our imaginary girlfriend who is somehow back from the dead. Maybe it was the lack of brain trauma we received over that boss fight. Well, actually we did get hit a couple times, so maybe it was the brain damage we received from the boss fight that brought her back into our lives. Either way, this figment of imagination helps us get onto a cable car, which is weird, and we get to pull that lever that I think I've seen before, like 3 different times. Anyways, now we're going to Umbrella's lab, which is probably full of really cool things like lollipops and gummy bears and rainbows and unicorns, and nothing evil or deadly or connected to the epidemic going around the city at all. Now I can go through these green doors, by the way, and I felt like I should just mention that. They're very slow. They're very slow. Oh wow, it's Umbrella Corporation. That's so cool. I bet they're all safe because it's like an underground laboratory that's like barely connected to the city. Oh, well, maybe there are evil big corporations that are bad. Oh, flamethrower ammunition. I wonder where that's here. I don't see much that's horrible besides, maybe it's just strawberry jam. It is the kitchen after all. Maybe they got into a strawberry jam fight. That seems like something a really nice company would have. They really care about their workers. Weird place to store, firearm, gunpowder stuff, but I'll let it slide. I'm sure they have their reasons. Oh, some more strawberry. Okay, well, yeah, it was just one of them got in, maybe. They should be fine. Just the break room. I'm sure. Well, maybe it was Umbrella. After all, maybe the Stars team wasn't crazy. Maybe our imaginary girlfriend was right. Maybe our imaginary girlfriend isn't an imaginary. That one still has to be decided. Oh wow, there's more of them. Okay. I don't think that's strawberry jam. After our encounter with the first section of the game, I think the north section, we get to press a button which activates a lever and grab this thingy, which is optimally placed. Again, second run glazing, I know, but it is easier in terms of running from place to place. You don't have to backtrack as much. Now I get to go into the plant section, which I don't really have a problem with. It's not my favorite part of the game. I'd say my favorite part of the game is probably the RPD. Just like the upper stairs bit, the not basement parts. It is really fun. Anyways, going past these new enemies, the Ivies, by the way, they're not a threat. They can one-shot you, but it's only if you don't have like a counter item on hand. And you can just like hit them in one of their spores and it will guaranteed stun lock them for enough time for you to get by. So unless there's like 5 of them, it should be fine. And also Leon has a flamethrower which completely incinerates them. Either way, now I get to do this very fun puzzle that does not take me longer every single time that I do it. Oh, okay, we're done. I have to wait for it to, drain, which takes too long. Hey, congratulations on being 36 minutes into the video. That's pretty darn good. Great job for sticking with it. Anyways, now we're in the basement of the city, which is this little dark room over here. There's a room over there, but it's not useful to us. More shotgun shells, always a good thing. And for us, not for the zombies, but they're not going to use them, so might as well. Oh, we have another one of those little power panel things, which turns the lights on and also activates the 2 lickers, which are actually my favorite lickers in the game. I actually like lickers in this sense specifically. Entirely because you can completely avoid them, but I'd say that's besides the point. I have licker friends, I'm not lickerist, it's lickerist. Either way, we got more keycard stuff, and Tyrant has decided to be a bit of a nuisance, so we just go on a little running spree for a while, get our cardio in, and my computer just turned off again. It's fine. And we're also good on time, by the way. There's a little pause stutter check thing there. I think it's like almost 2 hours. So half an hour behind schedule for second run hardcore, but this isn't second run hardcore. So we should be fine. I mean, spoiler alert, we are. Also, isn't it pretty darn impressive that, I haven't died once. Like, I know it's Resident Evil. It's not even on hardcore, it's not that bad, but there were a couple of close calls. And my superior juking skills and raw abundance of health items have persisted, I guess. Anyways, going through this boss arena looking room, we are finally able to go into Birkin's laboratory where it all began. Grab our little virus, save for a second time. I know, it's insane. I didn't even save during the sewers. What am I, a crazy person? I don't know. Anyways, we go through the boss arena again. It should be fine, and it's not. That's fine. If you've watched my other video, like a couple months ago, about where I fought this thing, it took me a lot of tries. I don't know what it is with this boss, but it seems to have a very complicated relationship with it. It's either really easy or really hard. I know its movement's better than any other boss in the game, but it somehow always gets the best of me. I don't know what's wrong with me. Either way, this was definitely a long fight. Like, you're seeing like the supercut. But, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I was able to toast-a-roni it with my flamethrower, and then made it out of existence with my grenades. And sooner rather than later, it was donezo. Finished. Gone. Dead, if you will. After we walked through our free shower, which God knows Leon needs a couple of those after that sewer section. Holy. I am very glad that they haven't like really applied smell-o-vision to games. Like that just seems like so nauseating after 5 seconds. Like at haptics, sure, I'd rather have electroshock therapy that I have to pay hundreds of thousands, no, just hundreds of dollars for, and hours to set up and probably get a new PC than smell-o-vision. I'd happily take one over the other. Also, the lab's self-destructing because we removed a virus, which is really the only safety that Umbrella really has. Which is crazy that, like, you know, they will self-destruct the lab if the G-virus gets removed without authorization. But also, like, Raccoon City happened in this thing. And this lab was basically still intact. Either way, you know, it's not that bad, honestly. I can probably get out of here, and... Really? Again. Yeah, is this a joke? I feel like I am being made a fool of. Well, it can't get much worse than that, either way. Right? I mean, fire's fine, but... Oh, no. Fire's fine, but... No, what doesn't burn me make me stronger, I guess. Oh wow, it's that same lever asset from before. Now we get to fight Tyrant, which is... I mean, it's fine. The boss fight is kind of just stay alive until, you know, Thingy comes to save you. Which takes forever, by the way. Like, it's usually like around the 5-minute mark that it happens. And I was just running around, slowly running out of health items and ammunition, waiting for this rocket launcher to drop, which it finally does. Also, heck of a shot from Ada, by the way. That's insane. That's crazy. Either way, time to grab the rocket launcher and look at this. Look, first of all, look at his abs. Second of all, that is so point blank, it's not even funny. And he's also dead now, by the way. Speed ramping, thank you again. Like, only Nemesis could survive that. I mean, he has. I played a rocket-only Inferno playthrough of Resident Evil 4, and he has taken multiple rockets. Either way, this game tricks you, because you're supposed to blow up the zombies with the rocket, but, you know, you could also not do that, and then you'd have it for this, which is the secret boss at the end of the game, after the end of the game, in second run. Now, I had a rocket launcher with me, so I wasn't really very worried. I just kind of let Birkin do its thing. I also know that, fun fact, the closer Birkin gets, the more the damage is modified. I went back and fired all 3 rocket shots off and then unloaded on it, and it killed me. And I went back again and fired 1 rocket when it was like right next to me about to kill me, and it automatically killed it. So all of this stuff isn't really useful as long as you just shoot it with a rocket launcher when it's like right at the end. Anyways, it's dead. Wow, that's so amazing. What did we get? 2 saves? S+. Cinema? I think so. Thank you so much if you're still here at this point. That's insane, honestly. Like, a real trooper for sticking through 44 minutes 58.21 seconds of this slop. So, you know, good job, thumbs up. You know, if you're here around this long, I mean, liking and or subscribing would be pretty base. Again, not an obligation. Currently, I'm not currently, but I have a Twitch, and I'm doing a big Resident Evil marathon of every single mainline game, Veronica, and Operation Raccoon City, as well as Revelations 1 and 2, in order. This includes the originals and the remakes, so if you want to come see that, currently I'm about halfway through 0 right now, and it's kind of kicking my butt, so if you want to pop on by that, the VODs are still up. I'll make videos on it, obviously, but you catch it live on like Saturday, Sunday, around-ish, those times. I always say I notify YouTube whenever I go live, so if that's something you're interested in, then hop on by and, you know, chat a little. I'd love to see you.